Poet Ponder, and I'm back with another video. Yo, please come and thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, hit all notifications so you have my videos in your possession each and every time I go live or I do uploads. It's Sunday evening. I hope y'all all are doing well. Please do not forget to sign up, and we got about 16 more days, like 15 days left until the end of the month, but it's still never too late to sign up for my walking running challenge. You know what I'm saying? I got a few people up in there. We're on our way to like 1,500 miles amongst like 21 people. So I really appreciate all of y'all for joining. Please make sure that you support the channel. The Cash App is in the comments below, so y'all know that I really want to come and I want to get into it. So one of the things I want to talk about is how Rihanna, she was, you know, on this Smurfs soundtrack. Smurfs is coming out with a soundtrack because their movie is coming out, and I believe in like July, right? Well, the first release of the Smurfs soundtrack was the Higher Love or whatever, and it was featuring Cardi B and like 6 or 7 other migrants, right? But Cardi was a star on the roster. She was the one who was like, you know, that I believe that the Smurfs, you know, the business of or the soundtrack, they thought that she was going to set it off in this, you know what I'm saying? And I just recently looked that up on Spotify, and Cardi B's Higher Love with the 7 other migrants that are on it, it only has 1 million streams. Now, I will say this, Rihanna's song Friend of Mine or whatever, I felt like it does have like some sort of a kiddie sound to it. It's kind of like a kid sound, like the voice even sounds kind of a little bit, not distorted, but it sounds different, you know what I'm saying? But it has like this rave effect to it. I really feel like it is a cool track. You know, if I heard it and I was out, I would be like, okay, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? It got a little like rave sound to it, like, you know, I think that is cool, right? But what I want to say is the stark differences of how the companies push the records. Now, Rihanna, she had like, I think it debuted with like just over like maybe 1.3 or was it 1.3 or 1.5? Don't quote me on it. Million streams first day. So she got, listen, Cardi B's song came out February 21st with the 7 other migrants on it. And that song just got to 1 million streams in total. How would just get to 1 million streams in total? And Rihanna came and dropped it, and it was like, wow, she got 1.5 million streams the first day. And then today, well, yesterday, it got 500,000 streams totally. So they're on their way to 2 million streams, and Cardi B and the team couldn't do that since February 21st. Come on, mama, that's the worst. You're running around here with Stefan Diggs, trying to have him dig it out, trying to get your face plastered up, replastered and all of that, trying to make everybody like, oh, she's beautiful. And you're out here flopping, non-stop and hip-hopping, and Rihanna, it took the real Savage Fenty queen to come out here and show them what it mean. You know what I'm saying? Rihanna got, yo, when I tell you Rihanna ran amok with this whole Smurfs thing, she capitalized, and they already know that she capitalized because she a bigger size. Cardi B, lowercase. You know what I'm saying? Dead flowers that's decayed in a vase, lowercase. Rihanna, she got, yo, you go to her website, I done got the ad because, you know, I've supported Savage and all of that before. You know, I got a few pieces from them. But Savage, you know, I seen an email saying something about welcome to the Smurfs or something. I go to her website, she got Smurfs all over the Savage Fenty website. So they see the connectivity and the, you know, the ability that Rihanna's gonna push products. She even selling singles. She's selling singles, a friend of mine too. So they see this a big business. Big business, right? So they pushing Rihanna. And another thing I wanted to add to that too, right? Because when Cardi B came out with her song Higher Than Love with the 7 other migrants on it, I was like, damn, they ain't giving no radio treatment, no radio push or nothing like that. Rihanna, on the other hand, first day when the record came out, she got over 1 million impressions on radio, from pop radio, hot AC, which I believe is adult contemporary radio. She got spins over there, and then like yesterday she had an update of 500,000 audience. So it's just like they're pushing her through the channels. So they know that if one thing Rihanna's gonna do, she gonna bring back money. She's gonna bring back interest. See, this is what happens when they don't push Cardi B up and try to. It's so sickening. You know what I get so sick of? Can't say it enough, can't express it enough. When I see so many black women go hard for Cardi B, and you don't realize that a lot of y'all have been subjected to these algorithms of these social media platforms that we've been on, right? The way that they pushed and propelled this girl into your face, you really think that she that, you know what I'm saying? And so you get this attachment to this thing, and it's just like, that thing ain't really that thing, you know what I'm saying? They've made you think that it was that thing, and she's really not. Shout out to Doechii too. I was looking at Corb.net. I think it's just Corb.net. She's the #1 song overall on radio, Anxiety, with like over 70 million radio impressions. So shout out to her for being able to conquer that as a black girl, you know. I did listen to Doechii's project when it first came out. Felt like it was pretty cool, and then after that, you know, I moved on. I still feel like it's cool, but I find myself not needing it as much, but I still feel like it is a good project or whatever. So make sure that you check that out if you're feeling, you know, Doechii. But just to focus on the topic at hand with Rihanna, yeah, you see the Smurfs, they giving her that premium push. They like, Rihanna, oh, she good, you know what I'm saying? She got the makeup out there, she doing the thing, you know. She make a post to do anything, it's gonna go up. So if she posts a Smurf soundtrack, whatever that they, you know, whatever I feel like they put into it, they're gonna get it back. They had a little cute video where Rihanna was walking through it, and then they introduced to the little Smurfs. They was doing the dance and all of that too. So I found that to be really, really interesting. So yeah, get in the comments, let me know what you think. Number one, I want to know, why do you think the Smurfs is pushing Rihanna on radio? You know what I'm saying? She getting the little impressions. They don't have to do no second guessing. They know when they dropped the song with Cardi, it was gonna be a little stressing. They know dealing with her really wasn't gonna be a blessing. Listen, that's why they put less in. Lesson. They put less in to learn a lesson. No more stressing. They brought the best in. To promoting all over the Savage Fenty. You let me know. Listen, so the next thing I want to talk about is a situation with Boss Mandelo, right? So it was this, I seen somebody saying trans man. I would say trans woman, because it's a man transitioning into woman, right? And he was saying something about, you know, these were the messages that he had with Boss Mandelo. He was in the DM and the PM, acting like a BM, well, looking like a BM. Let me just tell you this, right? I have nothing against anybody, how they live their life or whatever, right? But sometimes I think people, if this is really real with Boss Mandelo, and he said, oh, you really are that or whatever, because the boy showed the pictures of the DM, you know that this was a man. Like, stop playing these reindeer games. I be feeling like nowadays people be trying to act like they didn't know just so they could get away with whatever fantasy that they really, you know, purporting. So anyway, I see the photo of the you know, to be respectful, I'll say trans. I don't even know if they fully transitioned or whatever. To me, it looked like a man. I'm gonna just say that, right? So with these DM messages, and let's see, it seems as though, let's see, all right, so it seems like it was some sort of trail of messages. First and foremost, I just want to say this again as a disclaimer, we don't know if this is real, because how's at first it went from the DM on Instagram, and now that they're speaking in text message, like, you know, Boss Mandelo just gave the number up like that. This is why, like, yo, people make it so hard. This is why, like, I don't really like to get close to people at all, because people will try to make it seem like your relationship was more than what it really was with them, you know what I'm saying? So it looks like it's some blue. We can't see the full messages, and then the person asked Boss Mandelo, what's your real name? And Boss Mandelo said, I ain't giving mine out, you ain't give me yours. And that's confusing. If you want to know Boss Mandelo's name, look it up on Google. Like, why you asking these? You know what I hate with a person? You asking these day one questions. You asking Boss Mandelo, what's your name? Google his name. Look at the credits of his songs. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess I can call this a man, because the man came back and said, Justin, my real name, right? And then Boss Mandelo allegedly says back, oh, Lord, so you is that, right? That shit definitely confusing. How is confusing if his name is Justin? It's like listen, that looked like a man with some sort of heels on or whatever. That was not persuasive to be like a woman at all. It didn't persuade me to think that at all, right? Listen, I could see the person who think in their mind that they the baddest and they don't put the makeup and the wigs on. For me, I can discern woman versus man. I don't know. Some people, they make it seem like nowadays you can't do it now. Maybe they need to check their vision. I got 20/20 vision, funny money vision. You know what I'm saying? And then so the guy comes back and tells Boss Mandelo, yeah, I know, sorry, God make me this pretty, understand if you not with it or no. And then Boss Mandelo said, I appreciate you being real. Y'all think this real? Comment in the comments right now, real or fake? Real, fake. Let me know in the comments. I want to see real and fake. Real, fake. Alright? So, he said, I never did that. I don't want to be all over the blogs and shit. He telling the man that me want to be over the blogs. Y'all believe this ish? Alright? He said, I just looked at your Twitter too. He must have seen some SCX on there. So he crossed out the message. He responded back, why you cross that out? And I just feel like that's weird. So he was like he knew I was a boy, right? We don't know. These people play so many games online. Then he's showing some sort of photo where he took a screen recording of Boss Mandelo's DM. He said it was on vanish mode or some like that. All right. And then he crossed out the message he wrote to him. Why you crossing out what you wrote to him? And so he said, I can see now you just do people any kind of way. So Boss Mandelo is giving these sort of emotions and all of that. He said, I haven't done nothing to you though. So what you talking about? Then Boss Mandelo said, I'm just saying you not genuine. For real, you just about money, F a bond and F a real friend vibe. So if anything, he's coming at you. If he's being a real man and trying to open up to you and trying to get to know you and giving you the benefit of the doubt, why did you expose him? So he said, all you talking about is linking up and having SCX. We didn't see those messages. We didn't see those messages. Why didn't you put those messages out there? It looks shaky to me, right? He said, K, all this showing to my, he said, all I'm showing, go to my Finsta to see all of your other favorite rappers. And then so Boss Mandelo posted, he said, you act like we gonna pop out and be in a real relationship though. And then he said, I mean, you started the conversation talking actually what I'm supposed to be thinking. So I guess the boy is, basically saying that he wants some sort of money or wants some sort of payment or whatever from Boss Mandelo. But I feel like this is really weak. I want to get into this video from Paradise Paris. This is a girl who I follow. I'm pretty sure y'all heard her name before. She was in a whirlwind, like, the last week or two with the Megan Thee Stallion fans. They were so mad at her because she called Megan a flop, right? Well, I want y'all to get into this video with her sentiments, and I feel the same exact way. It's just like, this, I can call this man because he said his name was Justin. He didn't say his name is Justina or nothing like that. He didn't say I identifies as He said his name was Justin, and to me, he looked like a man too. But my whole thing is, it's just like, how can you claim if somebody's being homophobic against you and then you're exposing Boss Mandelo? It's like you wasn't a safe place for him. So listen, I want y'all to get into this and check this out.
Since Boss Mandelo is getting exposed, I have a few quick thoughts. There is a group of gay black men who are extremely insecure, so much so to the point where they are still seeking approval and validation from straight presenting black men, actually straight black men, or down low black men who haven't come out the closet. So much so where they even perpetuate the same homophobia they do not want replicated with them. And in this particular situation, I'm noticing that not only him trying to expose Boss Mandelo shows how he's perpetuating homophobia towards Boss Mandelo, because we don't know his business. We don't know who he's with. We also don't know if he's actually straight. We genuinely don't know that. But what I can say is that particular group of black men are so envious, the gay ones are so envious of the hood rich aesthetic that men who look like Boss Mandelo portray with black women. That infinite, super aggressive, super violent, super, flashy, hood rich aesthetic with the boss bitch mentality. And it's like many of them spend time trying to replicate that instead of just, creating an aesthetic of a relationship of your own. To me, it gives off like the stereotypical dope dealer with nurse type relationship. But I say that to say that in order for you to want people to accept your community, you have to stop doing things to people who are a part of your community or could be entering your community, because of the fact that you have to practice what you preach, and you show that by leadership. You can't perpetuate homophobia towards Boss Mandelo because you guys' private relationship didn't work out, and then expect us to respect not being homophobic towards you. It has to start in-house. So you got to sweep around your own front door before we start being the cleanup crew. But the biggest takeaway from this is that Gay don't have a look. I think in our culture we have the tendency to make feminine presenting black men the poster child for gay, that have sassy characteristics and tend to, use certain type of lingo, dress a certain type of way with hair, nails, makeup, and have a certain type of behavior. However, there are men on Wall Street who are in Armani suits. There are men who are hustling on the block with their pants sagging. There are men who are doing life in prison on death row. There are men who happen to be athletes and rappers who are gay. That should not be a shock to you, because no, gay does not look one way.
So listen, shout out to Paradise Paris. Make sure that you search her name. I love following her page on Twitter. She always has some sort of good conversation going. I love the way that she be getting at these motherfuckers too. They be getting them so sick, especially when she be talking that ish about just different things that I'm interested in. So shout out to Paradise Paris. I agree with her 100% in regards to men of the community, trying to expose other men. Like, what is the point? What is your point of doing that? To be like the aha, ha ha ha, I'm exposing you because you didn't get something that you wanted, or you want people to look at them a certain type of way. Again, we don't know. Disclaimer, we don't know if these messages are real or not. People clout chase so bad, we don't know if those messages is made up or not. But anyway, get in the comments. Let me know if you think this is real, or let me know if you think it's fake. Real, fake, real, fake. I hope y'all all doing well. Subscribe to this channel. Please make sure that you watch it to the end. I'm getting ready to talk about the Cassie and Diddy situation. I just want to touch over a few things from the week. So get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Support the channel. The Cash App is in the comments below. So, alright, let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is this Diddy's federal case. This was week 1. Cassie testified week 1. It's just been crazy, right? A lot of people feel a lot of different ways. I even initially on the first day, I felt a certain type of way when it came to Cassie's testimony. Nonetheless, I do believe that Diddy is a devil. And I do, at first, based on everything that she was outlining that she was going through, I was just like, Cassie got $20 million. I was like, she should have got more money than that, for the way that she described that, how Diddy, kept her there. Right, I believe that he did keep her there, because she mentioned several times. See, a lot of things that people try to overlook. She mentioned several times within her testimony that he wanted her to be there and to engage in these freak offs. Right, so from the horrid stories of hearing how from performing so much oral sex and having her mouth just, oh my God, the woman was treated like a wormhole. I did a short on YouTube a few days ago, and I didn't even think it was going to get that much traction. It's up to like 17,000 views on the back end, and I could see, and I put, Diddy never liked Cassie. He hated her, actually, because let me tell you something. You ever seen a man who is a pimp? Where Diddy's mother and father come from? Pimping and hoeing, right? A person who loves. I've been around real people who love their girl. Women who love their man or whatever. I've never been around a man who wants men to even have access to the girl that they love. They protect her by all means. They don't even want you looking at her a certain type of way. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a certain respect that you give to women who got a dude in their life. I don't know if y'all remember, but it was like one of my coworkers, I pulled up on, this was when I used to live in New York. She was in the car with her husband. When I pulled up on the side of her and I realized they was on the side when I was going to work, when I rolled the window down to speak, I spoke to her husband first, because that's respect. You don't speak to it's just a chain of command, in my opinion, right? So anyway, as it pertains to this case with Diddy and Cassie, right? I do believe that there was moments, like initially, like I said, when she was giving her testimony, I wanted to hear certain things, like, I wanted to hear her say, like, he made me do it. He made me. But she mentioned that she was doing the freak offs to make Puff happy, make Diddy happy, and all of that, right? So I think that's where people get the, a difference of opinion, where they feel as though, like, she wanted to do it. She was there for the money. Now, I do believe that Cassie was there because of the lifestyle he provided. She didn't have a successful career. She only had 1 to 2 songs. She only really had 1 to 2 songs. You know what I'm saying? Her second song really didn't do as big as the other one. And then I remember I was just in the gym the other day, and out of the blue, they started playing her song, Ryan Leslie, I'm Addicted to You. Oh man, so that was odd. I'm like, somebody must have put this on the playlist. They've been playing a lot of Doechii at my gym lately too, though, but whatever. So my sentiments. And then we recently found out that Cassie got the $10 million from the Intercontinental. Now you have to realize, right, Cassie has a lawyer. Her lawyer probably, once everything started to roll out and seeing what was going on, her lawyer probably realized that's a bag right there. You know, whether how much money he got off of that too, that's a bag. This happened to you at the hotel? They never called the police. Nothing never happened or anything like that. That's a bag. So you can't be mad at Cassie for getting and securing her bags. Unfortunately, she, you know, due to her relationship with Diddy, she wasn't able to get out here and really work and get her career. No matter if we felt like it was going to get a certain distance or not, she wasn't able to do that. So yeah, she got the 20 million from Diddy. Probably paid a sum of bucks to her lawyer, and then she kept some, and then, you know, the lawsuit from the Intercontinental, so she has funds that way. So a lot of people feel like, well, you got the money, you know, you moved on or whatever. But no, I don't think people realize like the effects of that relationship still is with Cassie, and it will forever haunt her, right? Cassie even mentioned that she wanted to give the money back. She wanted to give the money back. She said she would trade it back, you know, to have her, pretty much her sanity and her peace. And I believe that. You want to know why I believe that? Is because, number one, I was in a group, I'm in a group, and I was speaking to like some of the people in the group that I trust, and we were just speaking and having conversations about people who are on Suboxone, because Cassie is 8 months pregnant and she's on Suboxone, right? So even though she's broken up with Diddy since 2018, she's still on Suboxone from all of those years of opioid abuse, right? So my whole thing it's just like, damn, that must suck to be on Suboxone, because it's just like, I feel like with me even being a person who used to smoke weed, I haven't smoked weed in over 2 years, right? And I don't know how I would feel if I had to take something, whether on a weekly or every other day basis, to make me not want to smoke no more. I personally feel like, and I've never been opioid dependent, but I personally feel like it's mind over matter. You know, I've went through withdrawal from not having marijuana, whether it was emotional or just, you know how they say like you have different fits, change of behavior, you can have an attitude or whatever, but I fought through to make it through. I did look up some of the withdrawal symptoms for people going through opioid withdrawal, and it could be like chills, fever, cramps, like a lot of things. And you know, with the access that Cassie has, who knows, maybe she could I know that she mentioned she went into rehab. I think it was more so for emotional related things, but it's just like, I would rather a person detox and be in a comfortable setting without having to take the Suboxone, you know, because it's going to be a mind over matter thing, because you have to realize while you're taking the Suboxone, that thing is kind of looming over you on a daily basis. You know, that you were an addict before, and I feel like as long as you stay attached to that, you'll never fully be able to break free. Now, one of my friends that was in a group message, she was saying that the people who she know who's been on Suboxone and other different drugs like that it kind of like rules their life, and they're on it forever. So, you know, that has to kind of suck with Cassie going through that lifestyle with Diddy, and then also being on Suboxone. You're 8 months pregnant. Like, you know, I guess it's safe for the baby and all of that, but that's no type of life that a person want to live, you know. And Cassie outlined in her testimony that Diddy wanted her to be, you know, in the freak offs, and that he wanted, you know, pretty much her to participate. She was booking the talent, he was paying, you know. And I do feel some sort of way about that, because many times we sit back in our regular lives and we look at these celebrities with the access to the cash and the capital, and they're just doing idiotic things like that. You know, I couldn't imagine if I had money like Diddy, you know, he had Revolt, I would be, you see how it's different. People like on YouTube, like Mr. Beast, and people who make really amazing content, like, why didn't you travel the world with your kids and like get a bag out of like really showing like a lavish lifestyle? But no, you got to be addicted to drugs, having these sex fueled marathon length freak offs. Like, and Cassie is in the middle of it, you know. Cassie should have known years ago that Diddy did not love her or respect her, you know, based on not bringing her around the family and all of that. And but who knows? Because let me tell you something, right? When you deal with a person like, and I don't care, I know that this word is overly used, but Diddy is clearly a narcissist, and he's narcissistic. He's a overt narcissist. Some covert narcissist. You ever met a covert narcissist where they're so nice and everybody thinks they're nice or whatever, but behind the scenes they're a demon? I feel like people who knew Diddy for real, they knew that he was a demon. They knew it, right? And also, I believe what's gonna hit Diddy, as far as like, we're gonna have to see as the weeks go on, how the case plays out. But it seems as though that the whole team, Diddy's security, the assistants, all of them were in on it. You know, Cassie was getting battered and bruised and all of that. All of them were in on it. They were in on it. They knew about it, and we just gonna have to see how this plays out. But I do want to say shout out to Tisa Tell, shout out to Armand Wiggins. They both are like different channels who are there at the trial covering it. I like both of them for different reasons. I feel like Armand, he does, you know, he gives his take, and I like Tisa because I feel like she gives her take, and she, you know, she has a lot of experience with like different cases and stuff like that, so I can feel that a little bit more from her. But nonetheless, it's nothing to take away from Armand. I like his coverage too, but I feel like Tisa is a little bit more like descriptive and detailed, but they still are both detailed because they're going based off of their notes or whatever. But I really like I like both of their coverage, but I feel like Tisa, and she be running out of the courtroom like during the day, you get a random notification like she's live, and I just like I love like the coverage from both of them, you know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate them being there and being able to give us some sort of an insight on the case. But another thing I wanted to touch on too is that Dawn Richards was there, right? And Dawn Richards gave an account saying that when her and Kalina was in the house, how Diddy just came out in a rage and, you know, took a pen and was trying to beat Cassie and do all of that. Like, this is a madman. This is a madman. Let me just tell you this, right? I'd be so concerned. I would be so concerned. Like, I feel like some people have been rich for so long that they just like don't care. But I would be so concerned how people would feel as though how I treated them in this lifetime. Like, how did you treat individuals? How would they feel once you're not here anymore? You know what I'm saying? Diddy could play this role and make it seem like he father of the year and like, you know, he do this and that. I seen some photos. The crazy thing about it is I seen photos of Diddy's daughters at the prom, and I seen them and I didn't feel nothing. I mean, it's unfortunate because those little girls didn't do anything, but I seen them and I just really didn't care. Like, you know, they're basically the demon seeds. And I know that you're gonna hear that and you're gonna be mad at what I'm saying, but I just really didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of the whole family. Like, once this case is over, I don't even want to hear about Diddy no more. And I feel like it's kind of crazy because it's like, it's still songs that I play. Like, you know what I'm saying? It might have some sort of associated production or whatever with his team. Or he might be on songs that I like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. But I don't know. Do y'all feel like we're going to put Diddy in the same dumpster that people have put R. Kelly in? Because you know, it's still people who still listen to R. Kelly as well. But I feel like R. Kelly is more necessary than a Diddy, even though Diddy has a lot of history attached to him. But anyway, Dawn Richards is supposed to return back to the stand tomorrow. They were trying to get her out of testifying, but I feel like, you know, her insight is important. Aubrey O'Day, they stated that she won't be able to testify. I was listening to Tisa Tells. They said the reason why she won't be able to testify, I guess, because she's done so much online as far as like speaking out against Diddy, and they didn't want her associated. Like, anybody who's done that so far, like the Little Rod or the Aubrey O'Day, they won't be able to testify. And also, what's that other guy's name? Is it Gene Deal or Gene Deal? And then what is the baby father's name? I'll be sure. I think none of them can testify based on what they've done online already, right? So listen, the federal investigator, he had came in, I believe, was it after Dawn, when Dawn testified? So they pretty much was talking about everything that they uncovered. You remember Diddy, he had the raid, and then they finally arrested him in New York City at the Intercontinental. So when they arrested him, this man is sick. He had $9,000 of cash on him, right? Allegedly to pay for sex work. So you still moving this type of way. That's what I'm trying to say. When people have a certain type of power like that, they can never let it go. They always have to be, they just don't learn their lesson. Certain people, I'm telling you, like, I'm one of those people, I promise you, and I hope that you learn and you kind of lead your life like this too. Learn your lesson from your shortcomings. Learn your lessons when somebody has to reprimand you, so you don't have to keep being reprimanded and you just don't get it. Like, you don't learn. But if you don't do that, you'll constantly go through life and be, you know, cemented to the turmoil. So they found $9,000 in cash, baby oil and lube, all in Ziploc bags all over the damn room in the Intercontinental New York City. That's crazy. They found Tucci, ecstasy, what is that? The ketamine as well. Yeah, he had an LV bag full up of prescriptions with some sort of alias name of Frank Black. I felt like Cassie mentioned the name Frank Black on, did Cassie mention that name Frank Black when she said she was speaking to somebody on Facebook or whatever? I felt like that name was mentioned, so maybe that's an alias name that they was filling the prescriptions for. But listen, that's crazy. So he's still doing the baby oil and the lube and the Ziplocs, still doing the freak offs and all of that, right? So yeah, then turning it back to Cassie, they were saying that Cassie was FaceTiming, and I guess she must have had SCX when she was on FaceTime with her now husband. I don't even know if they was in a relationship then, but she was having SCX with Diddy and all of that. So they're trying to poke holes in Cassie's story as well, trying to see, because she basically blamed him. She not blamed him, but she stated that he raped her. And then after, I guess, she had intimacy with Diddy. So there, some people started to feel a certain type of way, like, oh, she wanted to be there. And based on what Tisa was saying, like the other day, was it on Thursday or Friday? They were saying like, oh, Cassie, it was looking bad for the defense, because I guess what Cassie has stated, they were trying to poke holes in the story pretty much, but Tisa said that they came back and they cleaned it up, because at the end of the day, Cassie still stated that she was, she didn't want to be there, like she didn't want to do certain things that Diddy made her do. So listen, this is week 1. I didn't want to go like blow by blow with the transcripts, because it's just long and drawn out, and I just really wanted to come and give my opinions in regards to the case. I think Diddy is guilty. I feel like Cassie, yeah, I feel like she was complicit in ways, but I do feel like Diddy is going to go down for this, because it's just too many instances where it outlines, like, as far as like him paying for the sex workers, beating Cassie, keeping her there. And they had a domestic violence specialist there as well, and I can't remember everything in regards to what happened with them, but I remember Tisa saying something that like these were like the behaviors of like fawning, like was it Cassie fawning over Diddy. But listen, man, I'm interested to see what's gonna happen in this case. At the end of the day, whether Diddy walks free or not, his reputation is fried. The reputation is fried. I want you to get in the comments and let me know, what do you think at the end of the day in regards to what we've heard so far in week 1? You know that it said that this is potentially gonna go for 8 weeks. Let me know, do you think Diddy's gonna get off? Do you think that if Diddy is guilty? I feel like Cassie has been through some rough shit with Diddy, and I started to think that if she's on Suboxone and was heavily using opiates, what is Diddy dealing with in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn? Is he on Suboxone? You know what I'm saying? Is he like, how is that working out for him? Because I'm really interested in knowing. But listen, potent pondering, please get in the comments. Let me know what you think about anything I discussed, from Boss Man Dlow to Rihanna, Cardi B, them giving her the full push. You know what I'm saying? They looking at her like, oh baby, you're a rock star. They seen Cardi come up with the 7-8 other migrants. They said, she's thin like a tyrant. Sometimes she ride it. She ain't got that exotic. She ain't the tyrant like that. Nah, baby. She ain't no tyrant. But yeah, they pushing Rihanna. They giving her radio play. They like, look, this is what we do for pop stars. The one, own websites, doing the big thing. She giving us a push from here to here. Put her on radio. Cardi had flopped 1 million streams since February 21st. Rihanna basically did that and got her streams and more in 2 days. Like, shout out to the real queens. Shout out to the real musicians and the ones who really supposed to be here, not the ones fronting and teasing albums and talking about, oh, you need to get this in. Listen, let me wrap this up. Potent pondering, never pandering. Subscribe, donate to the channel. The Cash App is in the comments below. Get in the comments, let me know what you think about Boss Man Dlow situation as well, right? And also the Cassie and Diddy. Potent pondering, up out of here. Peace.